Being someone who develops content for an RPG channel, I'm kind of embarrassed to admit that, well, I haven't really played a Persona game before. But hey, George Bush never made a good decision and look where that got him. Based on the hype, I was expecting a lot from this game, and I tell you what, it certainly delivered on just about every level. I knew that this review was kinda late, but holy shit, it is long! I have a job, a wife, bills to pay, and prioritizing this in front of all of those things wasn't easy. But I will say this, Persona 5 is definitely one of the strongest JRPGs released in the last few years and should be played by every RPG fan. I love the way Persona's story is delivered. You start off being arrested after breaking into a casino, or something. The player has no idea why the protagonist is on the run or what the hell is going on. Then you're thrown into an interrogation room and the majority of this lengthy plot is told as a flashback covering all of the events leading up to the arrest. Every once in a while you flash forward to the present with a little bit more information about what's going on. While the whole flash forward, flashback kind of storytelling isn't a first, it definitely works well in Persona 5. Things start at the very beginning. You play the role of a nameless student who has just started at a new school. You soon find that you have unique powers that allow you to enter people's subconscious and change their hearts. These subconscious areas are the dungeons of the game and they are called palaces. Successfully reaching the end of each palace will basically cleanse a person of all of their darkness and turn them into better people. So essentially you're jumping into the minds of jerks and making them confess their sins. If you're a jerk and watching this video, you better watch out. This plot is very well written and engaging from start to finish. However, some may have an issue with the amount of story content that gets in the way of the awesome gameplay. What I mean is that you can expect to progress through 2 or 3 hours of pure narrative points between dungeons. Yeah, you want to know what happens in the story, but you also want to kick ass. There's definitely a double-edged sword here. You and your merry band of mind-leaping warriors actually have a name. You are the Phantom Thieves and you're kind of like the unseen version of Batman. Everyone knows you exist and has their own thoughts on you, but no one knows your true identity or has even seen you for that matter. Through your journey, you'll form relationships with a lot of people and spending time with them will increase your relationship rank. This will ultimately grant you passive abilities in and out of battle which can be very beneficial. The catch is, you're on a time limit. Every day you can only perform 1 or 2 activities. This may be spending time with others to increase your rank, leveling up your social skills like your charm or guts to unlock further side quests, or invading enemy palaces, which is usually the priority, as not meeting its deadline will result in a game over. This is time management at its best. Every single day presents you with a plethora of options. Should I study at the local library to increase my knowledge so I can progress in another side quest? Or should I increase my relationship with a local doctor who will soon give me access to better healing items? So many options, so little time. Working your way through each palace is a mission. These are all incredibly unique, well thought out and massive. You're a thief, so the idea is that you sneak around the place attacking enemies before they notice you, Metal Gear Solid style. This allows you to attack first, which gives you a massive advantage and should be the plan for every single encounter. This is a good idea in theory, but the sneaking system is kind of flawed. So many times was I under the protection of cover but unable to jump out at the enemy due to the limited camera angles. This often resulted in jumping out in the middle of a corridor only to be ambushed by the enemy that I should have been able to sneak up on. In typical Shin Megami Tensei style, exploiting weaknesses is the key to victory. The core mechanics of this game work around this. For instance, casting fire on an enemy who is weak against fire will deal more damage, give you another turn, and knock down the enemy. Additionally, when all enemies are knocked down, you can unleash a team combo attack or converse with the enemy. By talking to them, you can convince them to join your team as a persona, give you additional money, or give you an item. Or you can just beat the living shit out of them for more EXP. The turn-based system works well and requires you to constantly think about how to go about every single attack. One wrong move and it's very possible that you will be completely destroyed. The true excellence of this battle system is highlighted in the boss fights at the end of each palace. There's not many of them, but they are sensational. There's such an epic feeling created going up against these enemies. I just wish there were more of them. Let's talk about personas. When you knock down all of your enemies, you'll be able to converse with them. By choosing the correct options, these enemies will join your team as personas, and this is what gives your main character strength in battle. There are well over 100 of these to recruit, and this mechanic is one of the strongest parts of the game. Not only can they be recruited in battle, but they can also be fused together or used in a load of other creative ways. Every time I leveled up, I raced to the nearest safe zone where I could see what new personas I could create. It's also a bonus that the music in this persona creating location was perfect. In fact, most of the music in the entire game was perfect, and this is something that consistently stood out. Hell, I'll go a step further and say that the presentation of this game is perfect. The graphics are perfect. Every single element of the visuals, from the anime style characters to the menus and the fonts, are perfect. And no, I can't think of a better word than perfect. Partly because I don't own a thesaurus, but mainly because perfect is exactly what it is.
There's nothing perfect about that.
Lies! You probably get the idea by now that I love this game. There's very little not to love about it. Persona 5 is outstanding and goes above and beyond in just about every area. The lengthy plot is engaging and wonderfully presented. The characters are very well developed, and gradually forming relationships with them is a lot of fun. The gameplay and persona mechanics are also brilliant. And finally, the game itself is perfectly presented. The stealth mechanics were perhaps the only thing that I had an issue with, but even then, this is insignificant compared to all of the positives. Yeah, what else can I say? Persona 5 rocks. Go and play this game now, as you'll be hard pressed to find a better modern RPG experience out there. This was Hellfire RPGs. Say hi to me in the comments and subscribe for all your RPG needs. See you next time.